Hello reading type people. This video is actually one of a pair of videos. In the unfortunate role of Jane Eyre apologist is Mr. John G. Lewis, internetally known as Ovinicus. John and I are actually writing a web series together which we hope to be able to show you sometime in the summer. But until then we thought we'd give you Battle of the English Literature Students upon the arena that is Jane Eyre. John loves Jane Eyre. I hate Jane Eyre. So let us begin with reason one of why John is wrong. Let's start with a common Bronte problem. Melodrama. The amount of times Brontean characters drown themselves in mopey soliloquies, wail about this or that tiny little problem, or even suffer actual physical illness because of some trifling little difficulty, makes me want to fling spoons at them. There's a brilliant scene in Jasper Fford's Thursday Next in which the authorities of fiction get the characters from Wuthering Heights and sit them down for group therapy. This is what I want to do to the characters of Jane Eyre. Someone needs to knock their heads together and tell them to stop being so silly. Also, the Brontes don't quit at inflicting their over-the-top wailings upon the world. They go so far as to criticise authors such as Jane Austen for showing the slightest bit of subtlety in their work. Feelings don't have to be hammered into the reader. They can be shown gently, they can be implied. For me, an enjoyable read demands a sensibleness in its characters and a subtlety in their dealings. Another hatred I have of their work, this time specifically focusing on Charlotte, is the ugliness of their heroines. Now don't get me wrong, I don't mean that all my protagonists have to be unarguably beautiful. What I have a problem with is the very way in which Charlotte deals with the idea of beauty. I'm a firm believer in relativism. The world does not exist but for what we perceive of it. As such, I honestly believe that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That everyone is beautiful to someone or in some circumstance. Jane Eyre does not. Yes, Rochester loves her, but not for her appearance. It is constantly stressed throughout the work how plain she is, how a random toss of the dice has cast her this misfortune from birth. Oh well, it's an 8, she can never be beautiful. It's illustrated perfectly in a scene not from Jane Eyre, but from Villette, another of Charlotte Bronte's novels. Our main character in this, Lucy Snowe, dresses up as she never would to attend a ball with her adopted family and the man she loves. While at the ball, Lucy sees the party reflected in a mirror, but for a moment does not recognise them. It's a scene common in YA romance. However, this is the point where it departs from the trope. In a moment, Lucy recognises them, and as she recognises them, recognises herself as ugly. Charlotte Bronte refuses to allow for the possibility that from another perspective, in another circumstance, a character can be beautiful. Beauty, or its lack thereof, is unchanging. And yes, there is something admirable in Rochester loving Jane despite the fact that she's plain, but I am far more taken with the idea that lovers love all aspects of a person. They don't love in spite of appearance. I believe this is possible because beauty is relative. Finally, let me speak more generally. John says I hate classics. This isn't true. I love and hate classics as I love and hate all books. What I hate is the idea of classics, the idea that any book should be lauded above all else. The real reason I hate Jane Eyre is because I'm meant to love it. My entire life I was told to stop reading rubbish, as the books I loved were generally deigned, and start reading proper books, chief among which was Jane Eyre. And yet, despite having this assurance of its betterness, I didn't like it. And thus here is where I must insist that a book's quality is relative. Books are the products of their readers. Yes, while constructed in a social language, they do have aspects of them that can be compared. Which passage builds suspense better? Which sentence uses more eloquent language? To rank books as a whole, books that are written and read for completely different purposes, is ludicrous. Virginia Woolf asks, which play is better? Hamlet or King Lear? And it's obvious that there's no definitive answer. So why do people still insist that Jane Eyre and other books like it with the label of classic are better than most other books? That I leave you with. Be sure to check out John on his channel for the opposite side of the argument. Subscribe there, he's generally very funny even if he is completely wrong about Jane Eyre. And do be sure to leave me some comments down below. Have you read Jane Eyre or any of the Brontes? What did you think? Love it? Hate it? With that, I will see you again in my next video. Bye guys.